I am delighted to welcome right now representatives of a great organization founded down in New York City by David Wilkerson. You might remember the movie and the book, which moved over 40 million copies, The Cross and the Switchblade. Pat Boone played David Wilkerson in a movie. Eric Estrada played Nicky Cruz and so on. And Teen Challenge has literally spread all over the world. And one of our beloved regulars for many years is sitting beside me here. He's now with Teen Challenge Canada, and his name is Norm. Hi, Norm.
Hi, David.
And sitting beside him is George Glover, who is the National Director for Teen Challenge in Canada. And so this is really an amazing thing. Teen Challenge has taken in people. Like if Ashley Smith could have got to Teen Challenge, I mentioned her. You know, what we heard from the young lady that Shauna featured, that's what Teen Challenge does in your centers, literally all over the world. George, give me an example of somebody whose life has been transformed through Teen Challenge, through God working through the channel of Teen Challenge.
Well, David, before we went to air, I was telling you the story about a young man off the streets of Cambridge, Ontario, that came to our London men's farm, where we have about 70 guys today, and years ago, and messed up on drugs and a terrible lifestyle, came off a very poor Aboriginal reserve, and really had a tremendous encounter with the Holy Spirit at Teen Challenge, radically changed his life, graduated from the 12-month program, went to seminary, got his theology degree, and didn't feel God wanted to do that, so he went and got a sciences degree. And May of this year, I went out to his graduation. He is now Dr. Troy McLeod, MD. Ooh. And there we are, a photo of us standing at the Queen E Theatre, and I was at his hooding ceremony with 250 other doctors. A remarkable story. Today, he's a married man practicing medicine.
I just wish we had the Sky Dome full of people to clap right now, but it's just us in the studio here.
Yes.
Wow. And you have recruited one of our finest. Norm used to tell me if he wasn't, with us here, he wanted to drive truck. So when he left us, he would call me from somewhere on a highway on a long distance haul across the U.S. from his truck cab. And now he's with Teen Challenge. Norm, tell me about it.
I'm not sure there's an explanation, but
you ministered to the truckers all over the country.
A lot of people,
as well as driving yourself.
Yes, and the folks, Gold Line Transport in New Brunswick, they were former parishioners of mine, and I was asked to come on board with them, and I did, and it was a 2-year journey that I would never trade for any reason, to be honest with you. But it was marvelous, and now, to be here with George, I feel like I'm...
What's your job?
I'm not sure.
Your job
We're still trying to figure
George, what's his job description?
Well, church relations,
so he's supposed to keep the pastors, aware of what's happening in Teen Challenge.
A team effort.
My problem is that it's like working with you. I've got another one now. I'm squeezed between two entrepreneurs in here, and I'm getting torn in every direction. So it's like being back here in some ways.
Well, Norman, I always remember you were an alcoholic when Jesus got a hold of you. And one of the steps, we've been talking about suicide the last couple of weeks, one of the steps that took you down that path to alcoholism was when you told us on 100 Huntley Street, you went into the garage in Charlottetown and had to cut your dad down. He'd hung himself, a veteran of the Second World War, messed up by the war and whatever. And you went into the garage and there he was. You had to cut him down. He was dead. And down the slippery slope you went. So you know the power of God to deliver you from alcoholism and these kind of chemical dependencies.
I had a pastor that was wonderful. I'll get emotional here. But I wished back in those times that there had been a Teen Challenge there for me and even for my father, because we take people, doesn't matter how old you are, we're
So they're
trying
not
to help
just teenagers.
They're not just teenagers, but you know, I was reading this report right here in the Hamilton Spectator 3 weeks ago. It was out, but it said about addictions. Alcohol is a terrible thing as well as any other drug, but it says mental illness and addiction steal more years of life than cancer and infectious diseases put together. And this Dr. John Carney co-authored this report, but he made this statement that the number of years of lost life is 1.5 times that of cancer and more than 7 times that of infectious diseases. And George knows this more than anybody. And here at Huntley Street and on those prayer lines that are absolutely lifelines, people are dying because of addictions. There's not enough medical resources to help them. But most of the people in this country don't even know that there's a teen challenge that is there to work with them.
Now, Crossroads has donated several of the ranches to InterVarsity Christian Fellowship, and they're operating them now, Circle Square Ranches. We had at one time 11 of them. But one of them in just within the city limits now of St. John's, Newfoundland, Crossroads Board of Directors has donated that ranch to Teen Challenge for your Teen Challenge Center in St. John's to be able to bring your residents out, and they have a farm or a ranch experience over that long 12-month course. George?
David, what can I say? Thank you to you and the board of directors of Crossroads for your generosity.
I had nothing
vision.
to do with it.
Well,
I was no longer in a position of authority.
bless your hearts for what you've done.
But I was in agreement. I told our CEO, Don Simmons, it's the right thing to do.
Lives will continue to be changed at that property one day when we get our doors open. And we're not open yet, and we're working through the process to get there, but it's going to be a beautiful property where young men can come and find a new start in life again.
You know, I thank you. In 30 seconds, Norm, that's impossible probably, but you led our telephone prayer lines ministry, vice president of ministry. Did you see people on the phones and then with the follow-up calls and putting them in touch with churches? Did you see their lives transformed like we've heard others, or like your life was transformed?
Absolutely. And David, the lifeline of this ministry in many ways is that prayer center. Because up there are people that care, there's people that know life. And regardless of what you may be facing, as Sean alluded to early in the program, that there are people that are willing to help in any way that they can. Our prayer lines also, we referred many people to Teen Challenge over those years as well, because there was such a need for people to connect with that type of ministry.
We're around 10 million calls that have come in.
Oh, it's been amazing.
Yeah, over these 35 years.
But the exciting thing for me being here was that every single day, when I drive into this place in the morning, I knew that every day somebody was going to come and to meet Jesus through this program and on those prayer lines. And can I just say this? That number's there on the screen. Call, talk to a prayer partner, and as I always used to say for nearly 11 years, you'll be glad that you did. Call us.